is up guys, my name is Subject Guru and for today's video we'll be doing subtraction and fractions. So for last video I sent some homework for these sums over here, and for those sums I'm pretty sure you guys would have done the homework, so I'll just reiterate the answers. So 2 by 7 plus 5 by 7 equals 1. 138 by 4000 plus 696 plus 4 by 4000 is 834 by 4000. 485 by 6 by 768 plus 586 by 768 is 1 303 by 768. 238 by 456 plus 246 plus by 228 becomes 174 by 446. 378 by 420 plus 268 plus by 210 is 274 by 420. Okay, and for this video doing subtraction and fractions. Okay, so what is subtraction? For example, we can say 2 minus 1. We all agree that 2 minus 1 will always equals 1, right? But wow, 2 plus 1 will equal into 3, right? But when we subtract this number. Okay, so for example, when this number will be the one which is getting subtracted by this number. Now that is subtraction. Okay, so now we'll look into sums into subtraction. Subtraction and addition are basically almost the same. Like the formula is same. For example, like the for some addition, you get like 5 by 7. 5 by 7 minus wait minus minus 2 by 7. Now as we all know, we usually don't take out these numbers. Okay, we don't take out these numbers unless it's an unlike fraction. Okay, so we don't mind the denominators because they are all like fractions. Like these two are a like fraction because the denominators are same. If they are an unlike fraction, yeah, we will get to that later. Okay, so since they both are like fractions, you just take the numerator, which are these numbers. Okay, so now this has a minus 2 in it. Okay, so 5 minus 2. What is 5 minus 2? 5 minus 2 will equal into 3, right? It will become 3 by 7. That's the basic gist of it. Okay, so let's take another problem. Let's take 8 by sorry, not oops, sorry. Like this, my keyboard is going off the world. Okay, it does that. Okay, that is minus by 798 696 by 7463. Now what will this equal to? As you might see that minus 696 and 8. How can you do that? Right? So there is a method. You just go with the normal like 696. If you see the larger number which you're going to minus, which is the negative one, and the smaller number is going to be subtracted by the larger one. So in that case, you just do it like, for example, in this sum, you just do it like 696 minus 8. You just keep it like that. The answer will become 688. But before the answer, you add a negative 688. For example, become negative 688 by 7463. Let me just enlarge this. Yeah, okay. Sign is negative 688. Now this is also a correct answer, since it is an like fraction. It's a like, sorry, not like, it is a proper fraction, and it doesn't break any rules, so it's basically a correct answer. um so for the next question, let's do more of these. Let's take 982 by 100,000. Okay, so 982 by 1,000 subtracted by, let's take a number. Yeah, 758 by 1,000. Okay, so now what does this equal to? Um, this will equal to, wait, 982 subtracted by 758 will equal into 224 by 1,000. It is also worth mentioning and noting that it's also worth noting that if you like in when you subtract a number, this these in subtraction fractions, neither of these can't become an mixed fraction. For example, the result can never be a mixed fraction. It is pretty obvious. Like for example, you subtract something. For example, like let's say that one number is 982 by 1,000 and another number is 999 by 1,000. If you add it, it'll become a mixed fraction, but when you subtract it, it'll become a proper fraction. Like it'll stay as a proper fraction. So 982, 982, wait, give me a minute. 982 is subtracted by 999, or the other way around, will always equal into 17 or minus 17. So now those are much lesser than the denominator. So subtracting fractions are um, usually not mixed fractions. The result. Okay, let's get on with the next things. Okay, so now what about unlike fractions? The same thing applies as when you do with additions. So for example, let's take a small number, okay, 2 by 7, yes, subtracted by 5 by 14. Okay, so on how we do this, so what we do is first we find the LCM of both of these fractions, and the LCM is 14, because 7, so 14 is in 7 stable, and whatever, and 7 times 2 is 14, and 14 times 1 is 14, so that's why it is the denominator. So denominator is 14. Now we subtract 2 by minus 5. Sorry, before we do that, we have to make this also into 14. So 7 times 2 equals 14. So 2 times 2, whatever number you multiply with the denominator will apply to the numerator. So this will become into 4. So 4 minus 5 is minus 1. So that's how you do subtraction in unlike fractions. Let's take another example. For this next problem, we will be doing like finding out 8 by 735, which is getting subtracted by 998, like 900, which is by 1,000. Okay, in this question, we can clearly see that this one and this one are both unlike fractions. So in unlike fractions, you don't have much of a choice to do. You won't be able to do it with the normal like fractions. But since they're proper fraction, it's pretty easy to do nonetheless. So what table are these two in? They're under the 5 table, right? So What is the LCM of 735 and 1000? We don't know, right? So we will have to find it out ourselves. Okay, now let's just expand this a bit. Okay, okay. So what you do is you take put a big slash like this, and then you type 735 by 1000 like that. Okay, and what can be subtract? What can be divided by this? 5. No, not 4. I mean 5. Okay, so I'm very terribly sorry. Give me a minute. Um, Never mind. Uh, just a second. Okay. So what will become 735 divided by 5? So 735 divided by 5 will equal into 147, and 1000 divided by a 5 will equal 200. Now 147 is not a prime number, but it doesn't come under 200's range too. So 200 can be divided by 5, 10, 2, 4, and yeah, that's basically it. Other than those numbers, there isn't much of a choice for 200 and also 5. So they both aren't in the same table. Since they aren't in the same table, what we can do is we have to multiply 5 by 147 and the result with 200. So what is 5 multiplied by 147? 5 into 147 is 735 as usual. So 735 into um um 200. It becomes 147,000. So yeah, it's a bit large, I might say, but there isn't much of a choice. So 147,000. Okay, now roughly corresponds to 1,47,000. Since the denominator the LCM is found out, we can proceed with the next, which is yeah, we can proceed with it. So 8 into 735. What time 735 equals 1,417, 1,407, 147,000. Well, it is 200. So 200 into 8 is 1,600. So LCM, wait, give me a minute. LCM equals 147,000, and the answer is 1,600 by 147,000 and which is subtracted by 900. So what times 1,000 will equal into 147? You guessed it, 147. So that will become like 147 into a 900, which will roughly correspond into 132,300. So minus by 132,300. Okay, by 1,147,000. Okay. So now, what shall be the answer? The answer you will be corresponding into 1000 1600 minus by 132,000, okay, which will equal into a negative 1,30,400. Okay. Um. Yeah. Okay. So it's a negative 100 by 147,000. Okay. So that's basically it for this. And for next question, our next question is okay. The next question will be in a mixed fraction type. What is a mixed fraction type question? Well, we'll see it. So let's take it as 2 by 2, oh wait, 2 400 by 800. Yeah, that's right, about, wait, 500. Okay, that is subtracted by 1 700 by 800. Okay, so now, I mean, what does this question really mean? 500 into 2 is 1,000, and 1,000 plus 400. So it is 1,400 by 500. Okay, that is subtracted by 8 into, so it becomes 700 plus 8. So 700 plus 800 will become 1,500 by 800. Now it is worth mentioning that we can in fact cancel out all the other zeros. So in sense, we can cancel out this 0 and this 0, okay, and this 0 for this 0, because the zeros can be cancelled out, and this 0 and this 0 for, and this 0 and this 0. Okay, since all of them have been cancelled, what so the next step is, give me a minute. Okay, since we have cancelled out the zeros, the answer, the next one will become 14 by 5 minus 15 into, sorry, 15 by 8. So whenever you get a negative question, like a mixed fraction question, you will always have to convert it into an improper fraction to do the sum. So 5 and 8, they aren't in the same table. So what will be their answer? So 5 and 8, what are their LCM will become 40. So 40. So the answer next will become whatever it is by 14 into 5 into what equals 40, 5 into 8 equals 40. So it will become 14 into 8. What is it? It's 112 by 40. Yes. And the now now how much times 8 becomes 40? It's 5. So yeah, so that means that 15 into 5. So 15 into 5 is 75 by 8. No, by I mean 40. Okay. Since we know this, we should subtract 112 by 75. Okay, so 112 by, which is subtracted by 75, which will equal into 37 by wait, by 40. So that's going to be it for this video, guys, and please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. So next video will become multiplication in fractions. Okay. Anyway, so see you guys later. Bye.